This week, a video was posted on TikTok that caused a chain of reactions throughout the app. A user posted how he makes 12 grand a week inside the metaverse as a male dancing in adult clubs through VR. Now, I made a very quick retaliation video showcasing that 2 out of the 3 videos were stolen from other TikTokers, and was under the assumption that the third one was probably also stolen. I have not heard any updates at this time if anyone has found the original third poster yet, but that assumption has still gone without challenge. This kind of content infuriates me, not only as a VRchat creator, but as a content creator in general. These leeches are constantly discrediting our work as a waste of time, then profit off of our stolen assets. As usual, I request that nobody goes to harass this creator, spam them, or cause any kind of problem that would allow him or her to act like a misguided victim. Instead, use this video to teach yourself and others around you how people actually make money through the power of the metaverse. This channel is most likely an NFT scammer who claims that he'll only show you how he makes his money if you click on his link. They also profit off giving attention, positive or negative, which is why I'll be attempting to keep their name out as often as possible. More clicks for them, regardless of the intent, means that they'll be pushed out more to unsuspecting victims. A basic rule online is to never, ever click on links that you don't know about or trust. Discord, YouTube, another random website, it does not matter. Scammers always have a way to make things seem safe to line their own pockets. The reason that this particular instance gets under my skin so much is that when scammers find something that works, they all go in hard. Soon, we're flooded by dude bros who think that they're all ahead of the game to try and tell us long-term players that we're misusing our assets. This can also lead to creators of games like vrchat to have no other choice but to be more strict on their rules, since publicly going viral for adult services on a game made for all ages is not a good look. If you're new to vrchat content, I have a whole playlist about the society of vrchat and how things really work around here. I even have another video that goes more in depth about how people make a living through VR alone, myself being one of them. VRchat is in its awkward phase where it's starting to become a mainstream enough to get the attention of all sorts of people, both innocent and unsavory. While there are adult areas in the game, most of them are locked behind private servers, ID checks, or other methods to try and minimize minor interaction. There will always be people who try to use adult content in public areas, but those shouldn't be seen as the entirety of adult players. Just like the few minors who do pretend to be adults shouldn't be the voice for all kids that play the game. I have been personally pushing for more safety in regards to VRchat's interactions between minor and adult players since 2020 because people like these NFT scammers have zero shame in who their audience is. They'll continue to post and lie and shame people into buying their course or joining their server, but the real problem lies in the shockwave it causes the community. Minors play VRchat. This is well known and has been a hot debate between adults if it is a safe game for kids to play. While we could go into the nuances of that, I have at least 2 other videos that do the talking for me, so we are going to skip that and go right into the meat of the problem. The minors who do not care about consent or legal adult laws will see this as an invitation. They'll make a new account, keep themselves mute or deepen their voice, and get involved with a community that was never meant to be for them. With all the safety bars that many clubs do have, there are ones who do not care and run off the assumption of good faith. I am not one of those people, because my experiences with the internet and players on the internet have shown to me time and time again that there will always be minors who have zero empathy for an adult's consent. But I also strongly believe that adult spaces are not inherently bad. On the contrary, adult spaces in VR are one of the safest places you can be, ignoring the serious problem of some people not understanding their drinking limits. It isn't fair to the adults that do try to keep their community safe and away from wandering eyes to be punished for the actions of those who are just around to try and scam the public. All that aside, this video is going to be focusing on debunking the claims this NFT pusher has, starting with the most obvious bits: stolen content. In my quick overview, I made sure to tag the 2 creators who had their content stolen for the scam, those being LS Toast and Pandaabear VR. LS Toast has already made a public comment about it and is thinking about getting legally involved because his content is being used to promote something that he does not support. Pandaabear VR has seen the video, but at this moment hasn't made a comment due to being on break for personal reasons. This NFT creator is being hounded for answers and proof of his success, but like every single video he has posted through other scams, he claims the only way you can look at the receipts is through his Discord server, link in bio. If you're well versed in Discord, you'll know that there are tons of scammers through the application, and even joining certain groups can lead you to having your account compromised. I cannot confirm this to be true with this account, but I wouldn't fully put it outside the realm of possibility. Making money in VR is possible, and as I stated earlier, something that people are lucky enough to do full time. Making money through adult services in VR is a very real thing as well. But how much is theoretically possible? What is the average? Do all adult dancers just get bank? Today I'm graced with a long-term dancer and a personal dear friend of mine, Juzo, who was the one who helped me put this video together, since I'm not often within those kinds of events. Juzo has been dancing for years now in VR and hosts dance lessons for anyone to join and learn how the world of adult clubs work. Firstly, Juzo, if you would like to introduce yourself and give a little information of how you got into dancing.
Hi, I'm Juzo. I've been dancing for about 2.5 years now. I started out dancing with shuffling and then got into lap dancing and break and various other forms of dance through VR. It's been a really fun time. I've danced for a number of clubs, and myself and a couple friends run a dance lesson server with around 350 students right now, which is pretty great.
First and foremost, what got you into dancing? Like, why did you start dancing?
I was looking for something fun and physical to do. But I was also looking for a way to try to fit in with some people that I had met that I found really fun, and a lot of them were into dance stuff. And so it started out with, we were just playing music, just jamming, doing random stuff to like metal music and whatnot. This was at a random club basically. And a lot of people were in shuffling, and I was trying to learn shuffling, and then I just get more and more into random dance stuff in VR.
Okay.
But essentially, it started as a social gateway for me.
Okay. Would you say that other dancers that you know had a similar reason why they started getting into it, or do you think they had different reasons?
I could see it being similar reasons, but it's also just fun. And being able to figure out how you can actually move your body and gain control and confidence is a really fun thing.
Okay. So we're going to get into the actual meat of this, which is tipping. Is it very common to be tipped during a dance event, specifically adult dance events, not like breakdance, shuffling, or anything like that?
No, not at all. It does happen from time to time, but usually it is very minute, and it is with hopes of other things happening.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that there are like specific kinds of people that would get tipped more often than others?
If you are in an adult scene, you will likely get tipped like $5 to $10 maybe with someone who's hoping to do it. And if you're known to accept that kind of thing for pay for play, then yeah, it's possible. But not much more than that.
Okay. Have you ever met any dancers that were like only dance for money? Like that's all they did. They didn't dance for fun. They didn't dance for free. They didn't do it for clubs. They would only do it if there was money involved.
The only ones that I've seen were quite terrible, honestly, and they should get more practice. Generally, it is a personal level thing where someone already has like a sugar daddy or sugar mommy in this case, where they would dance for them and then they have like an exclusivity thing with that person. So it's less about the dancing and more about the financial dom-sub relationship that they have set up.
Okay. In terms of the clubs itself, are most clubs pay to get in, or are they free? Like, how would you join any of these adult servers?
Vast majority are completely free. You can boost or do donations in order to get usually a supporter role where you can get into events about 5 minutes earlier than the general public. And then anyone who has verified through the club's means, whether it's an ID verification or checkbox, however they choose to verify, will be able to get in probably about 5-10 minutes after you do, if you choose to support them. Okay. And usually it's like $5, $10.
Okay. And as somebody who has been dancing at these events before, if you would know, what are some key differences between actual clubs, like IRL clubs, versus virtual clubs?
So there's a number of things. Since we're on the topic of money, vast majority of dancers are not going to be getting paid for this. This is something that people are doing for fun and sometimes for clout and just to feel better about themselves. And like I said, it's just plain fun. And then the big thing with IRL clubs is there's a lot of ulterior goals going on when you're dancing in the club and you are trying to keep the crowd up. You're also going to be trying to push for bottle service. You're going to be pushing for a lot of things that just aren't really available in VR. So the big draws of clubs where they have VIP tables, bottle services, alcohol, a lot of other stuff available to purchase is not available in VR, so you lose a lot of that experience.
If there were clubs that were paid to get in, or the clubs that do get tips kind of through Patreon or through Discord Nitro, do they pay their dancers? Or is there any kind of, what is the relationship between dancer and club owner?
So generally, the relationship between dancer and club owner in terms of monetary value is avatar packages, where they will pay people to like help fix avatars. They will work on world upgrades because everything costs money. And so to do a new world, it's around like $500 to about $2,000 to get it set up properly. You can have avatar optimizations for around $30 to $50, though it's been going up in price, and full avatar packages for around $100. So usually the money that is donated is either used to support worlds or avatar upgrades or server maintenance stuff. So keeping up with Discord servers, Patreons, anything outside of that. But the big thing is it's like a loyalty program for dancers, where after you reach a certain rank, you get like an avatar package. But very few, if any, really pay their dancers.
So in regards to the video, which, I mean, you know, we've seen the video where they said they made $12K a month in terms of dancing on the, or not 12K, but 12K a week in terms of dancing in the metaverse. Have you seen a change in the community since this video went live?
I think everyone who's actually in the community knows that it's complete bullshit, that they are completely aware that it is false. But I've had people outside of the community reach out to me, primarily friends who know me that I do VR stuff, that are not in VR, and they ask me, is this for real? Can you really do this? And having to explain it 4 times now, so it's been frustrating that I have to explain that this is just straight up an NFT scam. This is not real. There's the only ways you really make a lot of money in VR is either through things that are not VR. So it could be Fansly, it could be Twitch, it can be other services, or like I said, the whole daddy, mommy, sugar stat kind of things.
Okay. I guess that's pretty much it for me, but is there anything else you'd like to add about the whole situation that maybe I didn't really cover very well?
So one thing that I did see in a few TikTok comments were people talking about rave clubs paying dancers, and this does happen, but keep in mind the rate. So I dance at a group called Calibrate, and some of the events are paid, most are not, but for the paid event that I did, my last one was $23, and it was 4 hours of dancing. So if you are trying to get into dancing just for money, it is not really worth it. It's just fun. And I'm in the best shape of my life. I could lose a little bit more weight, but I've gotten in so much better shape. But the money driver for VR dancing, stripping, whatever, isn't really there. It is a rabbit hole where people are trying to lure people in to take their courses, to do their NFT scams and whatnot.
Okay. You know, that adds one more question for me that I've just thought about, is the fact that, do you think videos like this, if it starts to snowball effect and get more people interested in wanting to get interested in VR for this particular reason, do you think that'll have any negative response to VR chat, or do you think it'd be a positive thing in general if people were like, oh, I can make money, got into VR chat, and then learned what it really was?
So the vast majority of people that I know have a very strong distaste for NFTs, and having VR chat linked with NFT scams, even if it's just once for someone, is going to damage their view of it permanently, where it's just going to be like, oh, that's where someone tried to scam me. And so I want to try to nip this on the bud as soon as possible, because it is completely obtuse. It is not part of the VRC that I know and I love. It's just a very bad thing, and I really hate seeing these scams pop up.
Okay. Well, thank you a bunch. Big heart hands. I appreciate you coming out and helping me out.
No problem. Appreciate you working on this. It's been something that's been bugging me the past few days.
Dancers specifically, while having the opportunity to make a little extra cash from events, are more likely to receive gifts from people who obsess over them, known as simps, and not from strangers at the events. The big difference between real clubs and virtual ones is the people who are dancing in VR versus real life often have a completely different view of their work. In real clubs, your goal is to make that bread and have a little fun while doing it. In VR, your goal is to have fun and possibly make a little extra dough. They are exact opposites in terms of how you get started, because for the most part, these events are free with optional places to spend your cash, either through merchandise, VIP spots, Patreon supports, or commissions. Sure, some of the more popular ones start to grow and can support themselves through their adult virtual content, but to my knowledge, they aren't spending their free time promoting to the public their cash flow, regardless of age. And even then, they aren't making 12 grand a week. Jar, one of the most popular world creators within VRChat, is making an average of $4K a month from their Patreon. Their content is all age appropriate compared to the adult only, but the point stands that many people won't even be breaking the 10K mark a month unless they're doing something real sketchy or know someone with the big bucks. Because why pay for someone you don't know when you could just show up and get another person you don't know? No, most of the money is for specific creators, which ties them into a bit of a business relationship with their respective simp. If they are bragged about making a ton of money and their huge supporters / walking bank was to see, we all know that probably wouldn't end well. Finally, let's be real. Most of you who are interested probably don't even know how to do a split, let alone adult dancing. Well, I don't shame those who want to learn or can dance like that. People making that kind of money are those who already have the knowledge in the field. Either they do this as a work in real clubs or by years of learning through other dancers. Anyone can get on stage and shake their hips. What would make you worth 12 grand a week when there are people who have been doing it longer? I don't mean to offend, but that's just kind of the truth. If I'm paying for something, I'm more likely to go to the person who fits my needs more than someone who's just doing the bare minimum. I think these NFT bros don't realize that people can do things just because they like to and not because they make money doing it. Heck, if I was only to go into content creation for the money, I would have given up a long time ago. I make enough to order a pizza sometimes from YouTube, and my TikTok isn't monetized at all. But I can see that I've started to grow because creation is an investment. One day, after all this hard work, I'll be at a point where I can support myself comfortably through my channel. But that doesn't happen overnight, and it sure as hell won't happen because some dude decided he could make a quick buck out of it. I am just so tired of the non-stop drama talk regarding VRChat and have been trying to pull away from it or only talk about these topics on my Patreon. Too many videos go viral talking about the bad in VRChat and rarely the good that it can do. But this specific instance affects all of us. If these NFT nerds start seeing our games and our content as profitable, we're in for a bad time. Don't welcome them into our spaces and don't let people be misguided by their really crappy claims. If y'all really want another uploaded video that specifically goes into depth on how you can make money through VRChat, I'll be more than happy to make one, but I also want to drive it home that life isn't all about making money. Heck, I'm barely scraping by, but I've never been happier in terms of where I am in life. VRChat is a game first and foremost, and we should be enjoying the company of others, not the finances of it. I don't want a social game that I met so many great people to turn into some bad business buru. Thank you all so much for sticking around today and listening, and please, don't let NFTs into our home. We already have losers in the game that abuse our hard work and assets. We don't need more of them. If you ever see videos that are promoting junk like that what you've seen recently, do yourself a favor and block them before moving on. Thank you once again for watching this video. Make sure to drink your water, eat your broccoli, and have a fantastic day. See y'all in the next video.